never gave me any deadline.
Hello and welcome to another beautiful day. It is a global morning on Global Television, reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. Today is, of course, the 20th day of February 2025, and I'm so excited to come on your way this morning alongside my colleague as we will be bringing you Global Morning for today. As a matter of fact, so many things happening in Nigeria. Follow up to several conversations that has happened before and news making round. Remember that on Global Morning we bring you a lot of discussions, beginning from the newspaper review, when we bring you to speed with the major headlines for the day. After that, we go into two major conversations with experts adding their voice to the conversation for the day. And of course, you shouldn't forget that on Global Television, we are up and doing to make sure you are informed and you are, of course, brought to speed with the news and current affairs. As a matter of fact, Benue State has been on fire. The Chief Judge's removal has, of course, brought a lot of controversy. A lot of people are reacting to it. But then the Judicial Council have reacted to that, and someone says something that everyone who raised their hands for that impeachment should actually go back again and think of why that happened. You know, a lot of people have different opinion, and this thing is being looked at from different perspectives. Some are saying this is politically orchestrated, that some persons are not really in support of a particular party. I don't know, that's what people are saying. But then subsequently we will get to establish the real fact from that situation. As at today, I was still waiting for what is going to be the final verdict, how it's really going to go. One thing about Benue State is the fact that the governor has hit the ground running with a lot of infrastructural developments, and we heard that about is it 2,000 persons or thereabout will be trained in the area of agriculture. Benue State used to be known as the food basket of the nation, but now, if you ask me, I won't be stammering. If you ask me whether or not Benue State is still the food basket of the nation, I will stammer, because I won't be very sure. Looking at the incidences happening from there, do people still go to farm in Benue State? What about the incident somewhere around Agatu area, where herdsmen went to the farm to behead people who are farmers? I mean, a whole lot happening. Then moving away from there, we go into the politics itself. What is happening in Edo State? Have you heard that a lot of is coming from Edo State, then from the local government autonomy that was given, some states are still trying to truncate it. But when the judgment has come from the court, the federal government actually took the governors to court, and the case was won. And by now, we were expecting a full implementation, but up to now, nothing serious has been done. Then another follow-up to other stories, the issue of herdsmen and terrorists sponsorship. We've heard in the past where we're told that some persons are sponsors of Boko Haram. To be specific now, Boko Haram also the accusation, or it is allegedly being said that USAID is in the mix, and there is an instruction that the United States aid should be actually investigated. their expenses, their programs in Benue State, in Nigeria, not Benue State, in Nigeria, their interventions should actually be looked into. All these things that has been happening around the world. And of course, it will also interest you to know that as a matter of fact, Abuja is becoming a little bit free of this one chance people. But then, so unfortunately, some persons are still in the mix. Some persons have taken this dastardly act as a way of livelihood, which is not the best. How would you threaten someone at gunpoint to take their belongings, and you want to look at that as a means of livelihood? We know the economy is challenging, but then crime is not an excuse, or ignorance is not an excuse of the law, and the crime, of course, be an alternative irrespective of how difficult or challenging economy is. So as you're going out today, you need to be very cautious. As you're leaving your house, be careful the kind of vehicles you enter, not just in FCT, but every state of Nigeria. Be careful the kind of vehicle you enter, so that you don't fall into the hands of these people who are not patriotic Nigerians, who are either one and at the end of the day, some have been pushed out of a moving vehicle, which has resulted to the death of so many. So as you're coming out, just watch. You are the number one chief security of yourself before the authorities will come in. All right, as it is, we will bring you first of all the major headlines from the National Daily today, so that you can know what is happening before you get out of the house. Because most times I tell people, things, informations, news and current affairs that you see on social media are not so authentic, not so credible. Not all that are credible, all right? So we bring you credible informations coming from the National Dailies, and every information, every news, every story coming from the papers are not that of Global Television, but that of the newspaper house that has published these informations. Let's get a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you to speed the major headlines for the day. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues,
and at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Just download Global TV Nigeria on your phone and watch all programs on Global Television. What are you waiting for? Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Social, economic, cultural, and political conditions are constantly in flux, requiring regular conversations on the many contexts and informed analysis of their dimensions. Now, these discussions are not just about understanding the present, but about shaping the future. Foremost Bayes University is taking this lead through the Bayes University Debates, hosted by Global Television.
Analyzing and debating issues big and small, Bayes University Debates presents a vibrant forum where we invite academics, intellectuals, and prominent personalities to share their diverse views and ideas on topical issues. Your unique perspective is a valuable addition to our rich intellectual community.
Engage in respectful, challenging debates where we try to find common ground, keep our minds open, and seek truth and understanding.
Don't miss the opportunity to join the conversation on Bayes University Debates at 9 p.m. every last Tuesday of the month, showing on Global Television Channel 365, Star Times Channel 276, free to air on Nikensat. You can also download the Global TV app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Be part of the action.
back from that break. It is that time when we bring you to speed with the happenings and, of course, what the papers are saying. As a matter of fact, like we said, the papers come with more authentic and credible information from the news and current affairs. But then, the social media is not the very good source, because these sources are not verifiable. Let's begin this morning with the Punch newspaper. On the Punch newspaper this morning, we have some stories making headline, and of course we'll begin with the big story on the Punch newspaper. What's the big story on the Punch newspaper this morning? Nigeria needs $603 million fund. Senate summons service chiefs. That is from the Punch newspaper this morning. And as a matter of fact, well, just one writer to that story, and the writer says, Abono asked federal government to lead probe. USAID's 2025 budget targets defense, health, and others. The writer to that story said, USAID, Boko Haram controversy, and the story is now talking about the fact that Nigeria needs $603 million fund, and Senate summons service chiefs. As a matter of fact, some of the things happening, because this investigation is taking a serious toll right now, and as a matter of fact, we all know how it's happening, how it's going. It is allegedly been said that USAID is part of the sponsors of terrorism, Boko Haram to be specific, in Nigeria, and investigations are about to get started, because there are a lot of interventions embarked upon by this said NGO, and of course now Nigeria is about losing $603 million. That's part of the budget for Nigeria from USAID, and that's going to cut across security in the country, across health and other areas. These are areas we need to seriously look into. And as a matter of fact, more stories, of course, are from the Punch newspaper above the nameplate. I have this one which says Dangote NNPCL refineries not supplying 50% local fuel demand. Coming from the federal government. I want to take this story again so that we can walk back memory lane to see how some issues actually unfolded when Dangote refinery was coming up. It says Dangote NNPCL refineries not supplying 50% local fuel demand. That's coming from federal government, meaning the fuel we are getting is not enough. That's what it means. Now that we have a refinery working in Nigeria, Nigerians will be tempted or forced to ask questions like, okay, before now we had enough when we were still importing, all right? You know, the crude is being taken out, refined and brought in again, okay, before it was being used by Nigerians. Then we had enough. Why do we have a refinery here now where the crude is readily available and we are not having up to 50% of what the locals demand, the usage, not even talking about exporting yet? This cry is coming from the federal government. So I think Dangote and NNPCL refineries need to do more. Do we still need to go into importation of fuel? I don't think that is important. What Nigerians are even talking about is let the refineries work. And if we're talking about the working of refineries, we are simply saying Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna refineries should be put in place. Just recently, we heard that there is a servicing of the Port Harcourt refinery and these other refineries too. But then, how much of output are we getting from these refineries? These are the questions to be asked, because it's no wisdom spending so much on a particular refinery and we are not getting what we are supposed to get from it. All right, as a matter of fact, still from the Punch newspaper, both the nameplate, CBN probes 19.7 million dormant bank accounts. Can you see that? That's from the Punch newspaper. Dormant accounts. A lot of drama happens in the bank, all right, the financial sector, the commercial banks in Nigeria. We're not talking about the increment in charges yet. We're not talking about the hidden charges. We're not talking about how much people pay when they take loans from these commercial banks. But then, about 19.7 million dormant accounts in these banks. When they say an account is dormant, it means people have abandoned that account for a particular reason. Probably the owner of those accounts are no more. Maybe something happened and they need reactivation and they couldn't meet up with what it takes. I can tell you for free that reactivating an account is not a day's job, because by the time you get to do that, if you want to do that, so many other things will come up, like probably they will tell you, well, your name, the name in your BVN is different from the one in your national identification number. I've gone that road, I've walked that lane. So I know exactly what I'm talking about. Then we begin to talk about utility bill, especially for people who are not living in their own houses. You need to bring a utility bill that is traceable, that have addresses. Then what about people living in satellite areas where we don't have street numbers? These are so many ordeals that Nigerians go through that may have resulted to leaving their accounts dormant, especially when there is no money inside. But then I think I'm just telling us that 19.7 million bank accounts are dormant. We should also know how much is in those bank accounts and what happened to that money at the end of the day. If these people have left the accounts dormant, and probably maybe some of them are no more, what happens? Where will the money go to? The central bank, or I don't know, to the next of kin? Tracing the next of kin will be another issue altogether. But then their phone numbers, the details of next of kin is also there. Then one other thing again that I feel the banks should do is ensuring that before an account is declared dormant, the owner of the account should be reached. It is so bad that when they want to open this account, when they want you to open an account, there is this push, there is this persistency, follow up to make sure you open the account. They don't mind coming to your house to collect your passport, coming to your office to get you fill the mandate form and the account opening forms and all of that. But then when they want to declare an account dormant, they don't even send SMS to the people who own this account. I've had situations where some people think that just sending money into your bank account makes it active. But if you are not withdrawing and just putting money there, especially for those who own saving accounts, you will think your account is active. It is not. Putting money there without withdrawing make the account dormant. So these are some of the things that have contributed or may have contributed to the reason why 19.7 million bank accounts are dormant right now. Alright, details of that you can actually get on page 37 of the Punch newspaper. This one says visa again. CBS defends handling of Canadian visa application. Federal government demands $81 billion from Binance for alleged tax evasion. Drama. I just have to say this. You know why? Because a lot has happened between Nigeria, the federal government, or whoever that is concerned, and Binance. First of all, it was a jumping bill. The Binance chief executive, escaping from custody. Then in return, there is an allegation that some persons, some lawmakers have actually taken money from these people, very huge amount of money. Now we're hearing of tax evasion. I think all of these, I don't know, what's important to Nigerians right now is that the tax Nigerians are paying saying should not be that would pull their throat, drag them to the mud, make them run out of businesses, make entrepreneurs shut down. It should be minimal, looking at the kind of economy that we have right now. Well, let's see how all of this drama is going to end between the federal government and Binance and every other actor in the mix. Details you can find on page 18 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Now to other stories on the Punch newspaper. Lagos Assembly, that's the kicker. Obasa denies stockpiling arms. Alright, Miranda refutes resignation claim. All of that from the Punch newspaper. And of course, not just Lagos Assembly, even the Benue State Assembly, the Chief Judge saga, there's so many things happening. It's as if Governor Alia, for instance, have not gotten the full hand in Benue State because of maybe oppositions and some persons that may not be in tune with what he's doing. But then the most important thing is if Lagos people are okay with what is happening, all right, with the legislation and every other thing happening from the assembly, same thing to every other state, because we owe it all to the people in the state. We owe it all to the people in the state. It's not all about individuals, not what you think, not what you want, but what the people want. A policeman complainant arrested over newlywed's death in custody. Then finally from the Punch newspaper this morning, Zamfara explosion, that's the kicker. Then the story says ex-governor Yari pays hospital bill as NEMA visit victims. That is all the way from Zamfara State. We want to say will they have quick recovery? It's not something that anyone will ever pray for, but then explosion. I don't know when explosion will stop in this country. First of all, it was in Niger State, from Niger State to Enugu State. From Enugu State, you talk about the one in Oyo State, and now it is Zamfara State. Explosion everywhere. What's responsible for this explosion? Tanker? Is it fuel? Is it gas? What's really responsible? I think we need to be educated the more, because a lot of things that explode are being used by Nigerians so much, especially people who use gas. If you don't know the expiring date of your cylinder, it's another issue altogether. If a tanker falls and the fuel starts spilling, people who go there to fetch this fuel might get involved in explosion that has claimed a lot of lives in the past. So somebody needs to be done as far as this is concerned. All right. Now let's get to another paper right here, moving from the Punch newspaper. Let's quickly take a look at the Daily Times newspaper. It is still Global Morning, and we are bringing to you of the major headlines from the national dailies, which is called Newspaper Review. And of course, we have this one. I'm beginning from the big story on the Daily Times newspaper this morning. The big story is something that a lot of people may want to react to. This one says, Edo Assembly sacks all political appointees. Then you begin to ask questions. You know, before we got started, I said something about the fact that so many things happening at the state's assemblies. I don't know, but then Benue State, Lagos State, Edo State, now come to think about it, what must have resulted to this? First question you will ask is, who actually appointed these political appointees? Who appointed them? How were they appointed? How did they come into office? What's the relationship they have with now government and past administration? These are the things we should be thinking about. But what I know is that we need to get to the times when we will think more of continuity and not individual interest, because if you have people who will be instrumental in your administration, there's no need firing them, there's no need sacking them if you know these people can contribute to the growth of the state, whether or not they are your allies. But now so many things happen Well, you can pick a copy of the Daily Times newspaper if you really want to know why all of this is happening. Then now, the big story says Fidelity Bank orders contest calls jurisdiction in 9 billion naira fraud case. A lot of cases in the banking sector. I think one institution that needs to be probed is the banking sector. A lot going on in the banking sector. The way they treat Nigerians, people who put their money in these banks, the way they are being treated sometimes is horrible. I can tell you for free, there are some persons who are customer relations officer, don't know anything about relationship. They don't know anything about customer service. I've been a victim, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I wouldn't want to mention the name of the bank. All right, I don't want to mention the name of the bank, but then I think something needs to be done. All right, the Central Bank of Nigeria, which is in charge of all the commercial banks in Nigeria, will still need to look into the activities of the banking sector in Nigeria. Well, that's it. Fidelity Bank orders contest court jurisdiction in 9 billion naira fraud case. Moving away from there to other stories on the Daily Times newspaper this morning. This one says summons with Badu. All right, terrorism, that's the kicker. Senate summons with Badu security chiefs over alleged USAID funding. Very vital. This calls for a thorough investigation. I know the kind of role USAID play in some interventions in Nigeria. I know some of the things they do, but that of sponsoring terrorism, I don't know anything about it. But then I can tell you for free that in every rumor there might be an atom of truth, and if not proven by the court of law or properly investigated, no one can categorically say this is true or not. So that's what it is. So we should allow the law to take its course in this situation, and people on social media, bloggers, should be careful how they pass across information to Nigerians, because this might be to the detriment of the country subsequently anyway. All right, moving away from there, let's go to other stories on the Daily Times newspaper this morning. I have this one which says NJC voids purported sack of Benue Chief Judge by House of Assembly. I've talked about that over and over and over again. I think subsequently we will find a way to get into that situation to see what really happened. But then, if that is not in accordance with the law, whoever that is part of it should not be allowed to go free. At least something should be done so that at least a penalty or maybe whatever consequences that comes out of it will serve as a detriment, all right, or detriment to people who are perpetrating this act. I don't know what it costs you. I don't know what people stand to benefit to in obstructing the activities of governance in states. Benue State is one state that is so behind. It's so behind in terms of development, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of so many things. At least salaries are being paid in Benue State right now. That's kudos to the now administration. But then I think everyone needs to support this administration so that Benue State can be better again. All right. And this one says two suspected kidnappers of Anambra lawmaker escaped from custody. I don't want to talk about that. I think the authorities should be able to present them. This is prison break, escaping from prison. You remember what happened at Kuje prison, and up till now we've not heard. Some returned and some were actually caught, but then who was responsible for that prison break in Kuje? No one has been pointed to be if the one responsible for the prison break. Everything we heard was allegation. It was being alleged that some persons who are terrorists came to release other terrorists that were in custody, that were in prison right there. All these allegations. Now we're hearing that these people have escaped. If you know, this is somebody that was kidnapped and about 100 million naira was collected from his account, and he was still being murdered alongside with other persons. I don't know why they should escape. Probably they will be found, and I think that will speak better, that will speak good for the authorities, for the police force, whoever that had them in custody. Moving away from there, finally from the Daily Times newspaper this morning, Gambari outlines peace path for Africa. Then that's not the last. Finally from the Daily Times newspaper this morning, I have this one which says PDP accuses IGP of plot to assassinate Governor Adeleke. Wow. Alright, I don't know, but then so much happening in Nigeria right now. You all know how a local government council chairman was killed, alright, by some persons in this country, somewhere in the West recently, and that resulted to a lot of a saga in that part of the country. And we're hearing this again. I think what needs to be done should be done to avert all of this. Alright, let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we will continue with the rest of the national dailies. What are the papers saying? When we return, we'll continue with the newspaper review on Global Morning. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues,
and at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
It's good to have you right there on Global Morning this beautiful Thursday. My name is Ramsey, and of course it is still Global Morning, and as a matter of fact we are bringing you to speed with the national dailies for the day. And now to the Nigerian News Direct, where we have a lot of stories making round today, and you just have to know that these are strictly, alright, news stories that belongs to these newspaper houses. You said is the kicker from the big story, and it says Senate probes alleged Boko Haram funding, summons NSA, DSS, and others. Some riders to that story this morning, and the first rider says a call closed session to investigate USAID terrorism funding claims. Then the second rider to that story says devastation caused by Boko Haram in Nigeria should be a matter of concern. Nduma is the one saying that, and the details you can find on page 13. And more headlines still coming this morning. I have this one which says Microsoft unveil $1 million initiative to train Nigerians in AI. Very, very important, because so many things have been made very easy, but then some persons are complaining that students don't do research anymore because they over-rely on AI. Well, AI and the human brain are two different things, so we should try as much as possible to know how we use this AI. Among kudos as experts, cleric debate proposed Sharia court in Southwest. Details on page 13. Osun APC chairman resume despite state curfew. Freeze all council accounts. Edun inaugurates tax appeal. Commissioners harps on curtailing tax evasion. One of our discussion this morning will be cutting across tax, because some persons heard that inflation has reduced from what it is, but then something really led to that. I know some people will be wondering, we're always talking about tax. What is this tax money being used for? Why are we so suffering? Why don't we have infrastructures the way we ought to, and all of that? A lot of people are asking questions, but then on the conversation today, we will get to touch little areas that has to do with the state of the economy and taxation. Obasa dismisses allegation of arms discovery in Lagos Assembly office. All right, that's on the News Direct, Nigerian News Direct, and of course that's the size of the stories from the Nigerian News Direct. Let's get to the Blueprint newspaper this morning and see the stories making round right there. Above the nameplate, I have this one which says, I remain Lagos Assembly Speaker despite resignation rumor. Miranda is the one saying that. I still remain the Lagos Assembly Speaker despite the rumor making round that I have resigned. This is coming directly from the Speaker, that is Miranda. And of course, I have this other story right here, which says federal government sues Binance $81.5 billion in economic losses, back taxes. Alright, Lukman hits back at Gasparati over penalty miss. That's from the World of Sport this morning. 60 billion naira project excites KBAPC. Party pledges support for Tinubu. One rider to that story adopts Idris for second term too. Alright, I told you that every average politician, the moment they get into office, that same day they start preparing for the next election. You see, when we talk about campaigns are being done in different ways. All right, you can see someone campaigning indirectly, you can see some people campaigning directly, and more of indirect campaigns right now going on, both on the ground, on social media, and everywhere. Some of these statements is meant to test the reaction of the people so they can prepare better in 2027 when the time has come for them to actually go out with their manifestos. Who would we field? Who would we push forward as the presidential candidate, as the governorship aspirant, as the National Assembly candidate, as the one to go for the position of the Senate, the senatorial elections and all of that. So right now, a lot of permutations going on, but then let's see how all of this is going to end. I know a lot of people want to ask questions. What will happen to the All Progressive Congress? They are the ruling party right now. And remember, they ruled first from Muhammadu Buhari. We got to the now president, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And of course, what will happen in 2027? Nigerians are inquisitive. Now, even to the state level, you can see Adopt Idris for second term. Saying two, meaning some persons have already been tipped for their second term in office. Alright, let's see how all of this is going to end. And now to the big story on the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Osun local government crisis. That's the kicker. Reinstated APC chairman took over amid tension. Despite the tension, they still took over. That's politics for you. Alright, some riders to that story, and the first rider says, one OSIC against Saturday poll. PDP alleges assassination plot on Adeleke. Then the second rider says, reps weighed in, lawyer questions on anarchy. Alright, that's it. Then still on the papers this morning. This one say physical autonomy. That's the kicker. Why CBN hasn't commenced direct release of fund to 774 local government councils. You remember we have 774 local government councils in Nigeria, and every one of them is supposed to have direct allocation from the central bank, not through the states anymore. And a lot of fight came against that when that idea first came in. Then the federal government took the state governors who were opposing the local government autonomy to court and won the case. But until now, the money has not been dispensed. Reasons being known to the federal government. First of all, we heard that the local government council were supposed to submit 2-year audited accounts. I don't know if that has been done. There's some person here in the school of thought that these people have been sponsoring themselves. They've been trying to manage themselves. Whatever they get from the governors is what they manage to run the affairs at the local government council. That even submitting 2 years audited account will not be so relevant. Then CBN will tell you a house needs to be in order before you push such humongous amount into it. And that's the reason they are asking for this audited account, and for other reasons additional to this one that I've speculated, of course. I am trying to think outside the box. 2 riders to that story. Documentation, customer due diligence delaying process. That's coming from the Apex Bank. I told you, customer due diligence is the one delaying the process, and of course documentations that needs to be done by the local government council. Then the second rider says implementation committee yet to submit report. That's the federal government speaking right here. They said the implementation committee is yet to submit their report, and this report needs to be submitted to the federal government before full disbursement starts. So invariably, to an extent, I think majority of the job, the bulk of the assignment is not from the federal government and the Apex Bank anymore, but meeting up the requirements, customer due diligence, then documentation, and a few other things needs to be done before this fund is being released to the local government, physical autonomy. Alright, that's that from the Blueprint newspaper. Then this one says a farm deploys anti-explosive device across airports in Nigeria. Afenifere Ohaneze, Sanwo-Olu Mon Clark. Details on page 7 and 16. NECO accredits more schools in Equatorial Guinea. That's NECO now. NECO, I thought it was supposed to be for just Nigerian schools, but then it's now gaining grants like the West African Examination Council, WAEC. I think that's a good move in the right direction. Lastly, from the Nigerian Blueprint this morning, Supreme Court quashes Ganiche order against CBN. And that's the size of the headlines from the Blueprint newspaper this morning. Moving away from there, let's get to the next paper, which is This Day newspaper. But then, this is going to be the last before we go on a quick break so we can bring you the AM news. This one says NUPRC, that's the kicker, Nigeria winning war against illegal bunkering, oil theft reduced to 500 barrel per day. Court dismisses Christian and Shingo Wige's application to appoint interim administrator and guardian in Herbert Wige's estate. Then moving away from there, the big story says amid morning opposition, Matawali affirms not support for Tinubu. Some riders to that story. One of the riders says cautions Babachi Lawal. Then this one says highlights killing of 8,000 terrorists, rescue of 8,000 kidnapped victims as key achievement. Ariwa think tank says region north divided against a president. All of that is coming from, of course, This Day newspaper this morning. And of course, the Daily Trust have this big story which says federal government to buy 60,000 liter fuel tankers from roads March 1st. Let's wait for the implementation. AGF to governors, that's the kicker. Sacking elected local government chair is treason. Then man kills friend after serving him meal. Battle of wits. Lagos other state assemblies involved in speakership crisis. Then finally from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, Senate summons NSA, DSS, NIA over USAID terrorism funding allegation. And one rider coming from Akpabio, the Senate president, and it says aid agencies office have no business in Nigeria if found to be true. That's coming from Akpabio, the president of the Senate. And that's going to be the size of the newspaper review this morning. Go pick a copy of any of the papers that actually interest you to get more details of what they have said, and every of the news stories from this paper is solely the idea of the newspaper house and of that of Global Television. Let's go on a quick break so we can make way for the AM news at the top of the hour. It's o'clock. We will return after the AM news. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Google, and Play Store. All you need to do is download Global TV Nigeria on your phone and watch all programs on Global Television. What are you waiting for? Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Social, economic, cultural, and political conditions are constantly in flux, requiring regular conversations on the many contexts and informed analysis of their dimensions. Now, these discussions are not just about understanding the present, but about shaping the future. Foremost Bayes University is taking this lead through the Bayes University Debates, hosted by Global Television.
Analyzing and debating issues big and small, Bayes University Debates presents a vibrant forum where we invite academics, intellectuals, and prominent personalities to share their diverse views and ideas on topical issues. Your unique perspective is a valuable addition to our rich intellectual community.
Engage in respectful, challenging debates where we try to find common ground. Keep our minds open and seek truth and understanding.
Don't miss the opportunity to join the conversation on Bayes University Debates at 9 p.m. every last Tuesday of the month. Showing on Global Television Channel 365. Start times Channel 276, free to air on Niconsat. You can also download the Global TV app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Be part of the action.
Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. I am Ramsey Enoch. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nicomsat. You can also download the Global Television Nigeria app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. The Senate summoned intelligence chief to investigate allegations made by United States Congress Perry Ascott that the United States Agency for International Development has been funding terrorism in Nigeria, including Boko Haram. The resolution followed an order of urgent national security raised over 41 by Senate Mohammed Ndume, representing Borno South Senatorial District. Ndume urged the states to tackle the revelation seriously and give the devastation caused by terrorists, particularly Boko Haram. He emphasized that a thorough investigation would end speculation about how non-state actors have managed to survive over the years. President Bola Tinubu congratulated the managing director and editor-in-chief of the leadership newspaper, Azubike Ishekwene, on his 68th birthday, applauding his delicate and, of course, a decades-long contribution to Nigerian journalism. In a statement issued by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, the president described Ishekwene, fondly known as Azu, as a seasoned journalist whose incisive commentary and analysis have shaped public discourse in politics, the economy and society. Commending his contribution to the Nigerian media landscape, Tinubu expressed confidence that Ishekwene's new milestone will bring greater wisdom and inspiration. Vice President Kashim Shettima says the federal government, working in collaboration with other stakeholders, will be more deliberate in ensuring growth in the micro, small and medium enterprises, that is MSMEs, a space in Nigeria. The National Council on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise has set up a committee to interface with the Central Bank of Nigeria to enhance the financing of small businesses in the country. This assertion follows the first meeting of the National Council on MSMEs for 2025 held at the Presidential Villa. The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojisola Merenda, has denied rumors suggesting that she is resigned. Merenda's Chief Press Secretary, Segun Ajiboye, debunked the rumor. A circular dated February 17, 2025, allegedly released by Merenda, had also been trending for 2 days with the content claiming she had resigned. However, checks on the letter circulating on social media shows it wasn't signed by anyone. Operatives of the Nigerian Immigration Service have arrested 40 illegal immigrants at different locations in the Akinyele local government area of Oyo State. A breakdown of the migrants shows that 27 are Cameroonians, 2 are Ghanaians, 10 are Beninese, and 1 is a Togolese. Of the 40 arrested, 8 are female and 32 are male, all between the ages of 18 and 35. The Nigerian Bar Association has condemned the resolution by Benue State House of Assembly directing Governor Hyacinth Alia to remove Justice Maurice Ikpawese as the state chief judge. In a statement jointly signed by its president, Afamusiwe San, and General Secretary Mabojila Ajibara in Abuja, the association described the resolution as inexhaustible and a breach of the Constitution. The association emphasized that the House of Assembly of any state lacks the power to remove a chief judge without the involvement of the National Judicial Council. The National Security Advisor NSA, Nuhu Badu, has handed over 59 kidnapped hostages rescued by security agencies to the Kaduna State government. The 59 rescued kidnapped victims were handed over at the office of the National Security Advisor in Abuja. Kikelemo Okere has more.
While handing over the rescue hostages, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, says the rescue was as a result of joint operations from all the security agencies led by the 1 Division of the Nigerian Army, Kaduna. He noted that the operations of all security forces was secret to the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to work extra to ensure that kidnapped victims were rescued.
Already a lot have taken place. We are restoring order. We are bringing justice. We are bringing back peace to our country. About 59 or so people today. Last week, another number like that. And thousands, and it's ongoing across the country. And it is also a joint operations of all those who are in charge or in the forefront of fighting to keep us safe in our country.
The coordinator of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, Major General Gabar Aka, noted that some of them have spent 4 months in captivity. He added that they were kidnapped in different parts of Kaduna, saying that the pressure from troops to take to their heels and abandon the hostages.
With the bandits for about 4 months, different periods in between, but the most period has been 4 months. And based on intelligence that we've been collecting, the NSA directed we tie up with 1 Division Nigerian Army, who is the lead in Kaduna, to conduct operations within the area which we've identified to rescue these people. 1 Division was the lead in this operation.
The Chief of the Civil Military Affairs, Major General Gold Chibisi, noted that they were on board with the NSA following presidential directive to ensure they are released.
The Army, the Air Force, and all the Navy, and indeed all the military and intelligence security agencies, the police, were fully on board with the National Security Advisor, and we will continue to work under his coordination to ensure that the mandate given to us in furtherance of the intent of the Commander-in-Chief is fully actualized.
The Chief of Staff to Kaduna State Government applauds the federal government and the security agencies for their cooperations, stating that the collaboration has significantly improved security in the region.
Second time you are coming here to receive free captives. The last time was over 40, and you can practically see that we have 58 before you now. These captives were rescued along Abuja, Kaduna way, specifically at Rizana, and through the effort of the various security agencies, where the effort is yielding fruit.
However, the National Security Advisor further commends security agencies for their relentless effort and assured Nigerians that the government will continue to work towards a peaceful and secure nation. Kikelemo Okere, Global Television News.
The Nigerian Senate has identified and corrected errors in the 2025 appropriation bill, which was passed by both the Senate and the House of Representatives last Thursday. The discrepancies were discovered during the final clearing and realignment process by the Joint Committee on Appropriation. Sharon Ajay completes the story.
In a motion presented during plenary section, Chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Adeola Solomon, outlined these corrections. The primary adjustment involves changes to the recurrent non-debt expenditure, which has been increased to 13.58 trillion naira, while the capital expenditure has been reduced to 23.43 trillion naira.
Note that while the total sum of 54,990,165,355,396 and statutory transfer of 3 trillion 645 billion 761 million 358,925 naira expenditure remained the same as past, while the recurrent non-debt expenditure was increased to 13 trillion 588 billion 9,682,673, and the capital expenditure was reduced to 23 trillion 439 billion 251,624,250.
The Joint Committee on Appropriations has already implemented these corrections in the bill, which has been approved following its recommittal to the Committee of Supply. Despite the amendment, the overall budget remains unchanged at 54.99 trillion naira. This total includes 3.64 trillion naira designated for statutory transfers and 14.31 trillion naira allocated for debt servicing.
Sum of 54 trillion 990 billion 165 million 355,396 naira only, of which 3 trillion 645 billion 761 million 358,925 naira only is for statutory transfers and members of the Appropriation Committee for detecting these typographical errors and bringing them on time for us to receive and represent to Mr. President for assent.
The amendment bill is now set to be transmitted to the President for assent. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
Ogochukwu Mobno reporting for Global.
Federal government has approached the Federal High Court in Abuja to compel the cryptocurrency exchange company Binance Holdings Limited to pay $19.51 billion and 231 million naira for alleged economic losses caused by its operations in Nigeria. In the lawsuit, Binance and two of its executives, Tigran Gaben and Nadine Ajarwala, are accused of contravening Nigerian laws, including failing to register with FIRS for tax compliance and allegedly causing economic losses to the country during the review period. This lawsuit makes it the third lawsuit currently before the trial court against Binance. The Attorney General and Minister for Justice Lateef Agbeini has slammed governors for illegally dissolving and taking over local government administrations, despite the Supreme Court's judgment describing the move as a treasonable offense. Agbeini stated this during the opening ceremony of an event organized by the Nigerian Bar Association in Abuja. The AGF, represented by the Director of Civil Appeals, Ministry of Justice, Tijani Ghazali, noted that despite the judgment of the Supreme Court and the provision of the Constitution guarding against the interference of state governors in the running of local government councils, some governors and their state assemblies continue to dissolve elected local government council without following the provision of the Constitution. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has described his confinement with the Honorary Fellowship for the Nigerian Mining and Gasoline Society, NMGs, as a recognition of the federal government's commitments to repositioning the mining sector, stressing that the advancement of the sector is a collective responsibility. Here is Ogochukwu Mobona's report.
Delivering the keynote address at the 60th Annual International Conference and Exhibition of the Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society themed Transformation of the Mineral Energy, Water and Construction Sectors Through Innovation, the Minister of Solid Mineral, Dele Alake, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mary Ogbe, noted that the mining industry is undergoing a global paradigm shift with the adoption of digital technologies, harping on the imperative of embracing these innovations to attract investment, increase productivity, responsible extraction of the nation's vast mineral resources, affirming the federal government's efforts to resolve and creating an enabling environment for innovation-driven growth in mining and allied sector.
Innovation is the cornerstone of sustainable growth, and it is through technological advancement, research, and strategic partnership that we can unlock new opportunities and drive development.
He further charged the Nigerian Mining and Geoscience Society to foster industry collaboration that would drive transformation of the mining industry, while reiterating the commitment of the ministry to work with the society and other industry players to realize the full potentials of the nation's natural resources for national development.
Our Mining Act is being reviewed to meet current practices, promoting research and development through partnerships with universities and research institutions, supporting artisanal and small-scale miners through mechanization and access to funding, expanding mineral beneficiation programs to enhance local industrialization and job creation.
Dignitaries that graced the events include Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule, Group Chief Executive Officer NNPCL Mile Kyari, President NMGS Akinlade Olatunji, amongst others.
The Edo State House of Assembly terminated the appointment of all political appointees attached to its member with immediate effect. Speaker Blessing Agbebako announced this dismissal during a plenary session in Benin. Agbebako stated that the decision was unanimously agreed upon by all 24 members of the House, adding that the dismissed appointees would receive their February salaries. Representatives of Head of Service UNESCO Abuja, Joshimani, has stressed the need for all threats against journalists to be investigated. Speaking at the Train and Trainers, a workshop for judicial tutors on the curriculum for freedom of expression and safety of journalists in Lagos, he submitted, when threats of violence against journalists are not properly investigated too often, this leads to more severe aggression and murder, which is an extreme form of media censorship. Manish argued that the cycle of violence against journalists is often an indication of the weakening of the rule of law and the judicial system globally. To him, freedom of expression is both a fundamental right on his own and the enabler of all human rights. Kano State Governor Kabir Yusuf has pledged to fully implement the recommendation of the Committee of Inquiry on the End Bad Governance protest held on August 1st, 2024. He made the promise when he received the report from the committee's chairman, Justice Lawan Wadi, retired, during the 25th Kano State Executive Council meeting at Government House. The governor also announced that a white paper would be issued identifying those responsible for sponsoring and perpetrating the violent protests. The military has announced plans to release 381 rehabilitated ex-terrorists in March 2025, urging state government to ensure their proper reintegration through monitoring and empowerment programs. Speaking at a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa said a total of 789 ex-combatants are undergoing rehabilitation, with 381 expected to graduate in 2025. represented by the Chief of Defense Policy and Plans, Air Vice Marshal Shayi Olatunde, Musa stressed the need for proper reintegration of the repentant terrorists to sustain the gain made by Operation Safe Corridor. Meanwhile, 2 victims of the gunpowder explosion that rocked the Talata Mafara weekly market in Zamfara State has died while receiving treatment at the Usmanu Danfodio University Teaching Hospital in Sokoto State. The deceased Mohammed Lawal Matugi and Sani Adamu Okarkago were among those evacuated to Sokoto after suffering severe burns in their Tuesday blast. The explosion, which occurred around 11:30 a.m., reportedly injured more than 50 traders and customers in the section of the market where locally fabricated guns are sold. You're watching the live broadcast of the AM News Prime. Returns. Trump faults Zelensky over Ukraine peace talks. We have those details from the world of business as more stories from foreign and sports segment for you. Please stay with us. Business. The European Union plans to crack down on fuel import that do not meet its standard as part of an agricultural policy review to be published. The looks that to expose and disgruntle farmers and global trade tension. The European Commission is due to unveil a new blueprint for a sector that, despite gobbling up a third of the bloc budget, has long resented Brussels' liberal approach to trade. Months of protests last year saw farmers hike at regulatory and regulatory burdens, squeeze revenue and what they see as unfair competition from less regulated overseas rivals, hurting eggs, spraying manure and blocking the Belgian capital streets. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has called for greater involvement of subnational government in Africa's trade and investment landscape, emphasizing that real economic integration must begin at the state and regional levels. Speaking at the African Business Forum 2025 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Makinde urged the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa to actively engage subnational entities to derive and, of course, drive economic growth. Makinde noted that while discussion on trade, investment and economic integration often take place at the national level, implementation largely rests with subnationals. Vietnam's parliament has approved plans for an $5 billion rail link from its target northern port city to the border with China, boosting link between the two communist-ruled countries and making trade easier. The new rail line will run through some of Vietnam's key manufacturing hubs, home to Samsung, Foxconn, Pegatron and other global giants, many of whom rely on regular flow of components from China. The route will stretch 390 kilometers from the port city of Kaibang to the mountainous city of Lao Kia, which border China's Yunnan province and will also run through the capital, Hanoi. A big tech company, Microsoft, said it plans to invest $1 million over the next 2 years to accelerate artificial intelligence skill development for 1 million Nigerians. A move that will foster digital innovation and economic empowerment. Microsoft's country manager for Nigeria, Ola Williams, made this disclosure during the launch of Microsoft AI Tour in Lagos. She underscored that initiative is designed to position Nigeria as key player in the global AI ecosystem by equipping individuals with the expertise to harness AI for innovation, entrepreneurship, and economic captiveness. To end the AM news. This is where we bring the AM news to a close on Global Television today. My name is Ramsey Enoch. Remember that Global Television is on social media. Follow us on our social media platform and download the app so that you can follow all the broadcasts on Global Television. I am Ramsey Enoch. Thanks for watching.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world with our app on Google and Play Store. All you need to do is download Global TV Nigeria on your phone and watch all programs on Global Television. What are you waiting for? Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Social, economic, cultural, and political conditions are constantly in flux, requiring regular conversations on the many contexts and informed analysis of their dimensions. Now, these discussions are not just about understanding the present, but about shaping the future. Foremost Bayes University is taking this lead through the Bayes University Debates, hosted by Global Television.
Analyzing and debating issues big and small, Bayes University Debates presents a vibrant forum where we invite academics, intellectuals, and prominent personalities to share their diverse views and ideas on topical issues. Your unique perspective is a valuable addition to our rich intellectual community.
Engage in respectful, challenging debates where we try to find common ground, keep our minds open, and seek truth and understanding.
Don't miss the opportunity to join the conversation on Bayes University Debates at 9 p.m. every last Tuesday of the month. Showing on Global Television Channel 365, Star Times Channel 276, free to air on Niconsat. You can also download the Global TV app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Be part of the action.
Welcome back from the AM News. This is Global Television, and of course the first discussion is about happening right now. Well, a lot happening from around the world, and of course we're looking at Nigeria's economy, inflation numbers, and of course implications. Some persons are so excited that that of course as it is that the inflation has reduced, looking at numbers. But the National Bureau of Statistics announced on Monday, if you can remember, that Nigeria's inflation rate went down to 24.4% in January from 34.8% last December. We'll be looking at all of that. Let's go on a quick break. When we return, we continue with the conversation. was trying to give you just a little breakdown of the fact that the Nigerian inflation from 24.48% in January it increased, all right, from reduction rather, it was 34.8%, that was in December, but within 1 month it reduced to 28.48%. Then after its release, Nigerians price index for the first time is over a decade. Now we have our guest who is joining us in the studio this morning. He is, of course, an economic and data analyst, and his name is Dennis De Samuel. It's good to have you join us on Global Morning once again, Dennis.
Good morning, Mr. Ramsey, and good morning to our viewers.
Well, I don't know, what Nigerians really want to hear now is that they can go to the market and buy food cheaper prices. So when people hear about inflation, inflation has reduced, a lot of people on their own are making an assessment of the economy seriously, and different economies are saying different things. All right, as it is right now, let's begin with this. All right, so as it is, what is CPI, and why did Nigeria rebase its inflation, because that's very important?
Thank you very much, Mr. Rapsey. We were surprised, many Nigerians were taken aback a few days ago when the National Bureau of Statistics released the inflation figure for the month of January 2025, which shows that inflation at the consumer price index for Nigeria is now 24.4%. To start with, the consumer price index is just the, if I can put it, the weighted average of food items in a basket. Like the weighted average of items, the food might be any item you have in a basket. Whereby, when we talk about economy rebasing is inflation calculation. By the global standard, the calculation for the methodology for calculation inflation ought to be rebased every 5 years. That means you need to change the methodology you use in arriving at the consumer price index every 5 years. So for Nigeria, the last time Nigeria rebased is a price index was 2009. That's over a decade ago, like about 16 years ago. So that brought about the need for the rebasing of the inflation, inflation calculation. And why do countries need to rebase its price index? The reason is that over time there will be changes in consumer behavior. There will be changes in consumer pattern. There will be changes in the way households spend their money. And also there will be new products in the market that changes their behavior. That they need items in the market, and on the national level now, macro level now, there may be changes in technology. For example, the way we're using phone 2009 is different from what we're using now. So also, the amount we spend on data back then 2009 is not what we're using now. So the money we pay for schools then, there was no online schools back then. Now you have them. So, and also the economy has been opened up to world globalization. So we now have a position, we have somewhere before now they call it inflation imported abroad now. If, for example, you import from a country or are doing inflation, you import inflation. So a lot of things that make it necessary for an economy to rebase its price index over time, so that it can reflect the current consumer behavior, the current consumer pattern in an economy. So you can't keep on using what they call base year. The base year in an inflation will be the year you are comparing with the current year. So over years, Nigeria has been using 2009 as the base year in calculating inflation. That was 2 years ago. That's 13 years ago. Yeah, there's a base year. So that base year is what you use to calculate. They are selling Gary now 10 naira in my base year. So now the current year you are reporting, how much changes in naira has Gary changed currently? Compared to the base year. So the base year MBF have been using over the years is 2009. That is still the last time the GDP and the inflation was rebased. So that's going to have the necessity for inflation to be replaced. So when we talk about NBS reducing the price index, the global standard is to be done every 5 years. So it was even overdue for Nigeria to rebase its price index.
So it means the reduction that we have right now, because there is a reduction, as a matter of fact, from 34.8 then reduced to 24.48%. That means nothing has really changed, and that will take me to the next question that I have for you this morning. So now let's look at it. What has really changed in this rebasing carried out by the National Bureau of Statistics so far? Because look at the things happening around. Even though there is reduction in figure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramsey. For the benefit of our viewers, before answering that question, let me explain what really happened with the inflation figure. As of December last year, inflation figure was 38.8%. So as of January this year now, inflation figure is now 24.48% because the National Bureau of Statistics has rebased the price and the price index. So naturally, it doesn't mean that inflation has gone down. It only means that they have changed the base year, that's the reference year, from 2009 to 2024. So NBS is now using 2024 as the base year for CPI calculation in Nigeria. So what it really means is that now, if you have any figure coming out now, they are going to base it on last year prices. And if you can remember that, you can put it very well, they chose last year, which I think is the best to bring out the best figure. Because prices last year were high. So if you now compare to this year now, the difference will reduce. Compared to 2009, which was the former base year, will give you high inflation rate.
Okay, because the difference
the base year as it was there, the base year was 2009. Oh. So if you want to be based on 2009, the means over the years, it will give you high inflation rate. So now the base year now, the reference year is now last year, 2014, 2024. So they are calculating January inflation rate based on January last year inflation. What has changed over the last 1 year? No more what has changed over the last 16 years. So definitely it will bring down the numbers in the inflation they are reporting. Though that's a global standard, but in a way it has really helped the government with the figures coming out. So actually it doesn't really mean that inflation has gone down. What it means is that the methodology used in arriving at the consumer price index has actually gone down. Meanwhile, even if the old methodology was used, it does not change. Inflation might likely go down this January. Because normally January inflation is down because January is really harvest period for food production, and food production from overstealing. Food inflation forms over 65% of inflation in Nigeria. So then even if the NBS has used the old method of calculating inflation, we still expect inflation to have eased down this January, but not as high as over 10% basis point we are seeing with this number brought out. So to answer your question now, what we really did with these new methodologies is that there are 3 or 4 new changes now. Number 1, we change the reference year, which is called the base period, from 2009 to 2024. So henceforth, inflation will be based on last year prices compared to the current year. So no more based on 2009 prices. For example, now we can observe that a lot of things have changed since 2009. Since 2009, if you consider the consumer behavior in Nigeria, then it was different from what we're having now. And you can just agree with me, by then our economy was still robust. I remember 2009, economy was growing around 2007, was growing at an average of 6.5% around that period. So we can't compare to our economy is struggling right now. So there need to be changes in the way this inflation is being calculated. And also, you can agree with me that the consumer spending pattern has changed because Nigerians are going through a lot. The amount they allocate to feeding last 9 years is different from what they allocate for feeding now from their income. The amount they allocate to school fees from their income over the years has changed. Even the amount they allocate to buying data, recharge cards, you can't compare 2009 to what is being allocated to phones and all that now. Because for Nigerians, let me give you a big example now. That 2019, the GDP per capita of Nigeria was about $2,570 in a year. What is the GDP per capita? GDP per capita is the total output in an economy divided by the population. It's the best way to measure this, the standard of living of individuals in a nation. Let me just put it in layman's language. It shows you the wealth of an individual in an economy. So 2009, when we're using the reference period now, the Nigerian GDP per capita gain was 2,570. Do you know what the GDP per capita was last year? It's not on this year. It's now less than $1,000. It's $837. So that means that the standard of living has gone down. The purchasing power of Nigerians has gone down. So we need to rebase the way by which you arrive at inflation figure. If you keep on using the old figure, you will not get the accurate figure. Then also, they change they change the weight in the basket. If MBS calculates inflation, they gather items, food items, corn inflation, even apart from food items, how much we spend on energy, or recharge cars and all that. So they gather them in the basket. They weigh them. So they give them weight. So in this new calculation now, they've changed the weight. What I mean by the weight given to items in this basket, the basket then was, I think it was 740 items that they all gather to measure inflation. So in this new already now, they've increased the items in the basket for calculating inflation to 170. Which they are using right now. So because you have new technologies now, you have new products in the market, you have new items, you have changes in income pattern, so they need to accommodate those changes in their calculation. So apart from changing the reference year, they've changed the items in the basket. So also they've changed the weight allocated to each items in that basket. What do I mean by weight? When they are calculating the inflation rate, they allocate weight to each items. That means how much does an household spend from his income on each items in that basket. For example, now an household earns 20,000 in a month. How much do they allocate to food? Majority of the so the NBS they have the calculation. So formally it's 40.0%. But now in this new methodology now they've changed it. They assume that Nigeria now allocates 51.8% to food. Also, how much they pay on school fees? It has increased now from I think 3.2%. Alright, I think we have that figure on the screen. We can have that figure shown on the screen now because of what you're saying. I think the pictorial representation needs to make it very clear. You can see now. Yes, the way it is right now, you can see for yourself. But then, what Nigerians are really looking for and what Nigerians want to hear, because most of these things, Nigerians look at it as figure, English, and all of that. Nigerians are waiting for when this hunger can go down. Can we say this is a process? Because a lot of economists are saying so many things. Some persons have said we are on track. We are going somewhere. We are going to get to the end of the tunnel and we will meet a light there at the end of the tunnel. But Nigerians are waiting for when these things will translate to tangibility, having to go to the market and have ways to eat and all of that. So what do you think of this economy as a whole? Thank you very much, Mr. Ramsey. Actually, let me point out 2 points. Let me bring out 2 points. A lot of Nigerians or a lot of people don't really understand what inflation rate means. Even I see there was a PhD holder in economics the other day that wouldn't understand what inflation rate means. When we talk about an inflation is just the general price level of items. The price level, general price level of items, weighted prices in an economy. That's inflation. How much is this prices increasing? When we talk about inflation rate measures the rate of change of prices of an item. And when we talk about an inflation is not talking about just a single product. It means it can be, for example, now Gari might go down from 10 naira to 5 naira. Whereas groundnut oil might go up from 10 naira to 20 naira. So but the average retail prices of all these items, that's what we call inflation. The inflation rate doesn't mean, for example, they say what inflation rate has dropped by 12.5%. It doesn't mean that the price of goods and services in the economy has gone down. No. So most people also believe that when they hear inflation rate has come down, that means price of things have gone down. No. The rate at which these prices are changing, it means it has gone down. Let me give an example. If a bag of tomato is selling for 5 naira in January, then in February is now selling for 8 naira. Oh, sorry, it's now selling for 10 naira. So that means the inflation rate, the rate at which it has changed is 50%. From January to February. So if from February to March it increased to 12 naira, the rate at which it changed last month was more than the current rate by which it has changed. So inflation measures how much this increment, what is the difference in this increment of food prices. So when the difference goes down, the retail inflation rate has come down. It doesn't mean that the prices are going down. No, they might still be going up. But the rate at which these prices are changing, is increasing, has gone down. So that would mean that inflation rates.
There's not education, because I was even I was caught right there when you said a PhD holder.
Yeah, a PhD holder is my friend of mine. He doesn't really understand. It doesn't deeply understand.
This explanation matters, because when a lot of Nigerians hear of inflation, that inflation has gone down, they think the price of food in the market has gone down.
The rate at which the price
has increased. If it was selling for like 100 naira before, and instead of increasing to like 100 naira in the previous month, this month it reduced. The increment reduced. Reduction in increment or increase in the increment of food and services is what this inflation rate is all about. Okay, not necessarily means that this month there is a reduction in inflation rate, doesn't mean there is a reduction in the price. Meaning the increment for the previous lower than the previous month. All right, let's get to talk about these because as a matter of fact we want to know that does this new inflation figure have effect on the economy, because a lot of people what they are shouting right now is the economy, challenging economy, dwindling economy, doing business in this economy. It's in the mouth of everyone, both children, adults, educated, illiterate, everyone is talking about the economy. Can we just have a little understanding whether or not this inflation have any effect on the economy?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ramsey. Definitely, the inflation rate coming down has a good effect on the economy. First of all, it will instill confidence in the economy. We have investors coming to invest in the country. What they look at is the inflation rate, because they want to see the real rate of returns on their investment. If MTN is spending 10 naira in Nigeria, they want to know, can I recoup that money? Then if I recoup the money, hope inflation will not erode the value of my profit. That's what they call the real interest rate of what they are getting. So then when they want to invest, they check the inflation rate. If they see that this country has high inflation rate, they might run away. So when you discover that, okay, inflation rate here is a bit moderate, you can invest. Then as well, it will instill confidence on Nigerians that, okay, I can keep this money, spending pattern, then I'll know that next month, actually the value of this money is still almost the same. That's not really changed. So the inflation rate coming down, in the real sense, it doesn't mean it has come down. But the figures based on the rebasing of the price index means that the inflation rate has come down. So it will instill confidence in the economy, because you know that having inflation rate for example now, we have inflation rate before at 38.8%. That was the highest. That was December last year. That was the highest in the last 30 years. The highest figure ever in the last 30 years. So this shows that the economy wasn't doing well. So it has a lot of advantages for the economy if inflation rate is coming down. Then also for the CBN, CBN increases the monetary price, the MPR, the monetary policy rate now based on inflation. So definitely, I think the CBN is bringing out the company they are meeting today. They are meeting the monetary policy committee. They are meeting today, the ND meeting today. So we expect them to come out with the outcome of MPR today. So I expect the CBN to hold on to the rate today, based based on these new figures of inflation coming down, and they might not be able to base their decision on this new inflation figure. Then I want to wait for like a few months, let's see the way it goes. And also, GDP has been rebased as well. When we're calculating GDP, the base year now for GDP has changed as well. It's now 2014. But the GDP figure for last year is not out yet. We're still expecting that from the NBS. So when that was covered as well, we can expect a better figure for Nigeria GDP.
But these figures, how can they make it translate into the real thing that Nigerian thinks about inflation rates, reduction in the food, the price of services and food especially? When can this actually affect the price of commodities in the market?
Thank you very much. To bring down inflation rate, we have to look at the root cause of inflation in Nigeria. The root cause of inflation in Nigeria is food. Food inflation accounts for over 65% of inflation in the country. And let me tell you, I think about 197 million Nigerians spend 90% of their income on food, on house rent, and on school fees. Over 197 million Nigerians, that's what they spend their money on. So to reduce inflation, you need to tackle these three problems. For example, farmers can't go to the farm, we have insecurity, we have food culture in Nigeria, increase food production, you will bring down inflation rate. Then you have all these landlords, ripping off tenants, increase housing projects. I expect federal government to put more effort into housing, provide accommodable housing for Nigerians. It will bring down inflation rate because the money people are spending, like I said earlier, over 107 million Nigerians spend more than most of their income on housing, on feeding, and on school fees. So bring down these items that you know that work on this area that you know that are pushing up to inflation. I can tell you, in Nigeria can tackle food security, inflation will come down. Allow farmers to go to the farm, give them subsidies, and all that. We have already farmers everywhere. So if you can tackle this, you bring down inflation rate in Nigeria.
Well, meaning the problem known is half solved if there is food, because when I heard 50-something% of food consumption leads to this variations in inflation. I was surprised, but then I shouldn't be surprised because that's what a lot of Nigerians, almost everyone, patronizes food.
And that's why when NBS brings out the figure for that inflation, they divide it into two. You have food inflation, that's the inflation caused by food. Then you have core inflation. All the other items, less food. Now they added energy, less energy cost. Because if you add food, if you allow the items in basket to be together, you won't get the best way. So you need food, because food is a major cost of inflation, and you have the core inflation for other areas. So food inflation is a very big threat to Nigerian inflation figure.
All right, what it means now is that we need to have more people go to farm. We need to have a lot of people, as a matter of fact, have the opportunity to have food on their table. Then how do we do that? Get rid of terrorism. In fact, more should be spent on maybe agriculture. Either way, whether using machineries, using human being, availability of fertilizer, more attention should be given to agriculture. I remember when we were having a lot of people go to farm, especially in the west and where in the north too. I know then the inflation was not this high, but now finally, before I let you go, what would be your advice to the federal government and, of course, to Nigerians? Because Nigerians are keeping their ears very sharp, but then we've learned so much this morning. So, on the final note, what's your advice to the federal government and Nigerians?
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey. To me, my advice to the government is that the government needs to do more to bring down inflation. The CBN is doing a lot, trying to use monetary policy instruments to bring down inflation rates by increasing the MPR, by tightening the monetary policy space. We will see changes. So the fiscal side, that way we have the federal government, the state government, the government chairman, they need to do more. Because the root of inflation is not what can be tackled by monetary policies. To me, I believe the fiscal policies can do more to bring down inflation. So the federal government now on their own side should tighten their belt and make sure that they do more so that they can, so that the fiscal policy they are bringing out can commensurate with what CBN is doing at the monetary policy side to drive down this inflationary trend in the country. So the governors should do more as well, provide amenities. Maybe they can bring out bills that can reduce house rents people pay. You can bring out massive housing projects for people. We can give subsidy on cement. We can give people implement tools to go to farms. Like we were saying earlier that people should go to farm. I don't believe that a lot of people going to the farm. It's the way at which we farm that we can increase food production. You can have only 2% in agriculture. If they use the right methodology, they use the right provision, they can feed the country and even export. So it's not that the population will have into farming, but how are they doing the farming? Is it a mechanized way? Look at America. They have less than 2% in agriculture. They feed the nation, they export food. But Nigeria, we have over 60% of Nigeria, over 60% are into agriculture in Nigeria. Yet, we can't feed ourselves. Ordinary home, we can't make it in Nigeria. Ordinary tractor, we can't make it in Nigeria. So farmers don't have access to all these items. You still see farmers weeding 5 hectares of land with their hand with cutlasses. These are old methods of agriculture. So bring down mechanized farming to people, you can increase food production, we have arable lands everywhere. So federal government should, at their own side, fiscal side, tighten their belts, bring down more policy that can commensurate with what CBN is doing at the military side. It's not about increasing NPR. We've seen that happen over the years. It has not brought down inflation rate. Thank you very much.
All right, well, this is educative, and this is a straight word to the federal government, meaning there is so much to be done to bring down what we are calling inflation today. And of course, investors will need to look at the inflation rate before they even come invest. Then, for Nigerians to do well, social amenities, things that Nigerians need, it's not even too much. Let there be hospital, good roads, at least help people to farm. We're talking about agriculture. We're asking people to go to farm. How then can they go to farm when they don't have the good equipment, when they don't know the right way to cultivate, when they don't have fertilizers? Nigerian government, the governors, House of Rep members, everyone, local government council chairman, and every chief in the communities have a whole lot to do. Let's help Nigeria so that Nigeria can become a better place. We can't be farming in Nigeria and still be hungry. Insecurity, people not being able to go to farm because of unknown gunmen and of course headsmen should become a thing of the past so that Nigeria can be what it is meant to be. A very big thank you to my guest. He is an economist and of course he is a data analyst, and I'm so glad to have you on the program today. Thank you for making our time to be here, Dennis.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Ramsey.
All right, this is going to be the size of the first conversation. The second conversation is coming in. I should be asking, which of the development commissions do you belong? Niger Delta or North Central or Northwest, or which one? We have a lot of them right now. The next conversation, we are going to be concentrating on, of course, the North Central Development Commission. We have an expert joining us to talk about the commission. That will be after this break. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range and the latest news making rounds on Global Money.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Money.
Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world with our app on Google and Play Store. All you need to do is download Global TV Nigeria on your phone and watch all programs on Global Television. What are you waiting for? Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Social, economic, cultural, and political conditions are constantly in flux, requiring regular conversations on the many contexts and informed analysis of their dimensions. Now, these discussions are not just about understanding the present, but about shaping the future. Foremost Bayes University is taking this lead through the Bayes University Debates, hosted by Global Television.
Analyzing and debating issues big and small, Bayes University Debates presents a vibrant forum where we invite academics, intellectuals, and prominent personalities to share their diverse views and ideas on topical issues. Your unique perspective is a valuable addition to our rich intellectual community.
Engage in respectful, challenging debates where we strive to find common ground. Keep our minds open and seek truth and understanding.
Don't miss the opportunity to join the conversation on Bayes University Debates at 9 p.m. every last Tuesday of the month, showing on Global Television Channel 365, Star Times Channel 276, free to air on Niconsat. You can also download the Global TV app on the App Store and Google Play Store. Be part of the action.
Welcome back from that break. It's been a very sweet moment, if you ask me, talking about the economy and the inflation rate in Nigeria. Well, it's educated, that's what we do. And right here, we are getting into the second conversation. Remember, the president, signing the bill into law for some development commissions. The North, the West, the North Central, Niger Delta, has been there. But a lot of people are still asking questions. Why should we have all of these when we have the state government can they suffice for all these regions? What are the governors doing? Don't you think the people are asking for too much? Well, today we will be looking at something very critical, and that is, of course, the socio-economic impact of these development commissions. And we are going to be focusing on the North Central Development Commission. And of course, I have in the studio this morning the Director General for the Niger Delta Development Initiative. How was it really birthed? What is the rationale behind the birthing of this commission? How far is it going to go? Alright, is it going to be a tool used for agitation like we used to have from some parts of the country in the time past, or it's really going to contribute to economic development? Because recently so many things happen. The center should be here, the headquarters should be here. Some said in Niger, some said in different parts of the North Central. So I have with me right here the Director General, North Central Development Initiative, Comrade Musa Otiba. It's good to have you join us on the discussion this morning.
Thank you once again, my brother. Good morning, Nigerians.
Yes. It's good to have you. How did you feel? Because the last time I checked, there was an agitation, there was a push with every agility, with so many things, meeting stakeholders to make sure this becomes a reality. Yeah. So how do you feel right now?
I feel highly elated. Not just me, the people of North Central region are very happy that this commission has come to be, and we have just done a press conference about a few days ago to appreciate Mr. President for listening to our cry, to also appreciate the SGF and our members, representing us at the National Assembly from the North Central region. So we did a press conference to actually express our appreciation on behalf of the poor masses of the North Central people, because we know the impact of, the impact that this development commission is going to have on the North Central region and its people. So we are very happy.
Okay, in the first instance now, we're talking about socio-economic impact, and so good you were able to let us know that it's going to make a lot of impact. If you say it's going to make a lot of impact, then what should be the expectation of the people of the North Central? Because a lot of people beat drums, they sang praises, they said so many things about it, but we've seen in the past where we have development commissions like this, and at the end of the day, some persons feel they are the stakeholders that should benefit from it, and we see a lot of diversions. Now, for North Central Development Commission, as an initiator, or someone who is part of the initiator, what are we expecting?
Yes, one of the reasons why North Central Development Initiative was formed was, to canvass for this development commission to be given to us in view of the economic challenges that we face as a people in this region, because of the security challenges, because of the devastation that security challenges has caused for us. So we cried for it, we asked for it, we request for it. And you know too well also, at the time we were doing that agitation, we were moving from the different stakeholders to make sure that we get this commission. Yes, having gotten it, we have also expressed our intention to monitor what is going to happen at that North Central Development Commission. From the beginning, North Central Development Initiative will monitor whatever is going on there. And we have also told the President, the Minister of Regional Development, and the Office of the SGF that, look, when you want to recruit people, you want to appoint the board and management team for this commission, make sure you appoint credible people who have the interest of the region, people who are going to allow the region to operate fully to achieve the purpose for its creation. Those are the kind of people that we expect that should be appointed into the board and management team. And we are also ready that if that is not done, if they appoint any person or people of questionable character, we are going to come out against it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So as it is right now, I think something is very glaring, and that's the fact that the commission will be coming to meet the needs of Nigerians. What are the basic issues that you feel, as soon as these people get on board and they hit the ground running, these are the areas that they need to touch first before they even talk about anything? What are the challenges or the needs that you feel the North Central have suffered so much from in the time past that needs urgent attention?
Thank you very much. Before now, Nigerians knew North Central to be the food basket of the nation, where food production is massive before this time. But as we speak, most of our people our farmers especially, have been sent out of their farms. They have been sent out of their homes. They cannot, you can't stay in your house. How do you even talk about going to the farm? So we want this commission to focus on restoring the farm. And I'm very sure that is going to be part of their agenda, to restore that glory of the North Central region as the food basket of this nation. Niger, Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, Kogi, even FCT, we want our people to go back to their farms by improving on security and giving the necessary support to our farmers to go back to their farm. I'm talking about improving security. We have recently called on the North Central governors and the State Houses of Assembly to immediately commence the process of establishing a regional security network that will help tackle the issue of insecurity, so that the North Central Development Commission can operate in its full capacity. We don't want anything to hinder that commission. And very soon we are going to have an audience with the chairman of the North Central Governors Forum, His Excellency Governor Abdullah Sule of Nasarawa State. We are very serious about this. We want that joint security network for the region. So talking about focus, these are the areas we want the commission to focus on. Let's have our farms back. Let's have our farmers back into their farms. Whatever support that the commission can give them, they should concentrate on that. Because if there is enough food, I don't think there is going to be much problem. That is number one. Number two, education. They have to assist us in looking at the communities where they don't have access to education. They should build schools for them. And the ones that are already functioning, existing, but are not functioning well, the commission should come in to assist in making sure we have good education system for the region. Recently, I saw one video near a rock, just to get water, drinking water. The video just surfaced and we have taken it up. North Central Development Initiative has taken it up. We want to make sure that they give them potable water as soon as possible. So these are part of the areas that we want the Development Commission to touch the lives of our people. We don't want the commission to come and enrich more those who are already rich. No, touch the lives of the communities. Go to communities where they need development, whatever they need, be it electricity, be it water, be it education, school, whatever they need to improve the life of the people in the communities. That is where we want the commission to focus on.
All right, thank you very much, DG. Now, let's look at the Niger Delta Development Initiative that has pushed for this Niger Delta Development Commission, North Central Development Commission. Now, part of the agenda of the North Central Development Initiative is to make sure the North Central Development Commission comes to stay. What will happen to the initiative when NCDC has come to stay fully? What will happen to the initiative? Is the initiative is it still going to be on? I'm asking this question because one of the major problems we have in Nigeria as a people is the fact that there is always responsibility but no accountability, because nobody is there to checkmate the people who have been given this responsibility to hold them accountable. So what will be the function of the assignment of the initiative when NCDC has started running full-fledged?
Thank you so much. NCDC has, NCDI, North Central Development Initiative, has come to stay. We are not just about the North Central Development Commission. We are after the welfare and well-being of the North Central people. We want unity among the North Central people, and we want development in North Central. So we can't just say because North Central Development Commission has come on board, then North Central Development Initiative will go to sleep. No. As a matter of fact, as I speak to you now, we have written letter to Mr. President after the press conference. Immediately after the press conference, we sent a letter to him telling him our mind and our preparedness to monitor whatsoever is going to happen at the North Central Development Commission. So anybody that gets appointment there should be prepared. That is not, he or she is not going there for business as usual. We are going to separate them from the budget, from whatsoever that is going to happen at that commission. That is one. But let me use this opportunity also to say thank you to Mr. President. He is a listening president, as Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Remember when NCDI came on board, we had a lot of agitations. We were talking about, considering the North Central people for key appointments. That he has done. We also talk about the North Central Development Commission. That he has given us. We are still, while we are appreciating, we are still asking for more. There are still other things he need to do for us. We are saying, Mr. President, to balance this political equation in Nigeria, bring back the national chairmanship position of APC. That is where we are now. Bring back the national chairmanship position of APC to North Central. If you check, the Northwest has the Deputy Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Northeast has the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and National Security Advisor. Elections. So what we are saying is, Your Excellency, sir, we are grateful for the ones we have done, but complete it so that the equation will be balanced as we prepare towards another national convention of APC. Let it be strictly for North Central region. That's what we are calling on, Mr. President. Please be a father to the nation, father to all.
Okay, I can sense alignment with government in power right here. I can sense alignment of the initiative with the government in power right here. Yes. Now let me ask, you're talking about bringing the national chairmanship of the ruling party APC to the North Central, which you said was taken away. The North Central Development Initiative, is it APC inclined, or it is made up of all the political parties in Nigeria? Who are the actors in NCDI? Because if it is all about APC, then when APC is not in power, something else is going to happen to the commission. And of course, NCDI, I don't know, so much has happened. I'm taking cue from the Niger Delta, where you have a lot of people who are not satisfied with certain things and they want to cause obstruction or distraction in the form of agitation. Bringing in this agitation now, I'm talking about the All Progressive Congress National Chairmanship. What happens? What is the core mission and objective of NDCI? And of course, who are the actors in NDCI?
You see, there's always a beginning for everything. So NCDI has its own beginning. Shortly after the 2023 general elections, the leaders of support groups to the APC from the North Central region decided to come together to say, look, now we have worked so hard for the APC. We are leaders and stakeholders of the party. So we work, and to the glory of God, we got success, the desired success. The party has won at the center, that is at the national level. We now need to have a common ground, a kind of forum to speak to the government on what we want in the North Central region. That was how NCDI was formed. So the original members of NCDI were the party leaders of support groups from the region that came together to form NCDI. But because the aim, the vision of NCDI is for the North Central region, not for the party. So people that are from other political parties saw this vision and said, oh, even though we are not APC, we want to key into this vision. Because whether you like it or not, it's APC that is in power for now. So whatever you want from the North Central, if you want North Central to develop, if you want the goods and progress in North Central, it has to come through this government. We cannot say, oh, let's wait until another. No. So they came to join us. So as we speak now, NCDI comprises of people from APC, from PDP and other political parties, because we have a common agenda. The agenda is unity and development in North Central, progress of the North Central region. So that is what we are, and that's what is happening right now.
Okay, now let me ask, because of minority and majority cases in NCDI, these are two questions in one because the time is running out.
Thank you. For your first question, whether the governors and the National Assembly members from the North Central region are in tune with NCDI, well, Rome was not built in a day, and it takes time for people to actually see reasons with whatever program and agenda you have for them before they can actually align themselves. So we have started, we have written letters to all of them, all the senators and House of Reps members from the North Central region, the ministers, the governors. We have written letter to them, congratulating them and introducing NCDI and what we are all out for, what we are out for. We have introduced ourselves to them. But because we have a lot of things we are pursuing outside them, we were focusing attention on the president, the federal government, to do certain things for us first before we start shifting attention to those states. You see, even if I told you earlier that we are from APC before other people come to join us, it is not to say that because we are APC we should support when APC government is doing bad. We will not support the party, especially as it affects the North Central region. So, even our governors, we are going to be separating them very soon. Yes, we want to just get our ground. We are going to, if they go, for example, Niger State governor, and they now Nasarawa State governor have been singled out for now as performing governors. Now someone told me that Plateau is picking up seriously. So those who are doing well, we will go openly and publicly appreciate them. And those who are not doing well, we will tell them to rise up to the occasion. Because the North Central need attention. All of the state, no state is left behind. All the state need attention. We need government attention. And thank God, this Asiwaju administration has given so much money. We have heard that governors are having more money for developmental projects under this administration than ever before. That is one. So, two, you talk about minorities and majorities. No, there is nothing like that. There is nothing like that. We have one agenda. Nobody is going to deviate from that agenda. Whether you are APC, you are PDP, you are Labour Party, if you are in NCDI, drop your party cap, your party logo, and wear the logo of North Central Region, so that we can give to our people what is expected of us. So that is our that sounds so interesting. Yes. We're waiting for the sustainability. You know, we are media. We will hold you to it. You've said it. Hold the DG. We are going to be on ground. We are starting right now. Agendas we have is, first of all, we will have a meeting with the SGF. We are trying to have a meeting with him. He is the leader of this region. Nobody can take that from him. He is the leader of North Central Region. And so we cannot do this project or program or pursue this our mission successfully without aligning with him. We want to meet him, want to have a meeting with him and tell him how we want to work. And then there are areas we are going to point out to him that our leaders are, this area you are not doing well. This area you have done well, and we want you to improve on these areas that you have not done well. We have identified those ones. We are going to meet with him. Now, from there we meet the regional leader, or the chairman of North Central Governors Forum, His Excellency Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Also going to meet him to tell him what we are out to do. This is not, the fear that most people have is that when an organization like this is formed and you are telling them you want to come and see them, they say, oh, they are coming for money. No, NCDI is not like that. We have funded ourselves from inception to date. No leader of North Central can come out and say, I gave these people 100,000 or 200,000. Nobody has given us, and we have not even solicited support from anybody. We fund ourselves. We fund our press conferences. We fund our movement. Whatever we do, our projects, our programs, we fund it ourselves. You can imagine people donating as little as 2,000 naira. Maybe we will have a budget of 5 million. Some people I will put it on the platform that people should contribute 2,000. That is to tell you that they are interested. You know what they describe as a widow's mite. So they give the little they have just to make sure that that program is successful and that NCDI as a body is successful. People love us, especially our members and those who have heard about us. We receive calls from them from across the states that make up the North Central Region. We will receive calls from them. We are seeing your programs. We are seeing you on television. We are seeing you on newspapers. Please keep
state chairmanship issue, the APC, the Austin Agada issue, then moving to the issue of headsmen everywhere in every part of his own state. Then we just heard of the removal of the chief judge, which has made round, and the Judicial Council is intervening. All of this happening at the North Central from his own state. And has NDCI actually looked at or given a consideration to things happening in Benue State? Because one of the major core initiative or core idea and objective mission of NCDI is development, and that is what according to what we heard, I've not been to Benue State in a while, they said there are some developmental structures whereby tribes by the governor. But all of this happening, is NCDI looking at that direction for to provide any form of solution, or have they thought of maybe visiting the governor because whether you like it or not, NCDI, like you said, have come to stay, and they can serve, all right, as some advisors or mediator between key stakeholders in different states. What do you have to say about all of that? Taking Benue State as an example.
Yeah, thank you so much. What is happening in Benue State is beyond NCDI for now. I say so because the case is purely political, and it has to do with the two major political actors in the state. Yes, at the time we asked our Benue State chapter to actually do a study of the root cause of this problem and give us a report so that we know how to intervene. And when they started, politics came in. Some people began to feel that, oh, this person that is the coordinator of the NCDI in Benue State belong to this faction of the fight. So we asked them to stop. At the national level, we are studying the situation, and we are also looking at where the stakeholders, the leaders in Benue and in the party, both at national level and at Benue State level, what they are doing. We are watching them. If at the end of the day we see that they are not going to give the needed solution to the problem, because we will not allow it to continue like that, it will hamper development in Benue State. It will also affect SGF performance at the national level, because you can't be in Abuja working and your state is on fire and you think you can do well. So it will affect the two of them, and as it's affecting these two, it's affecting the Benue people, it's affecting the North Central people. So we are not going to allow that to continue for long. I think in our next general meeting we are going to take decision on how to intervene in the Benue crisis. Our intervention, they see us as young people, but we also have our own idea that may help them. There's no need fighting ourselves. Like I told you earlier, one of the reasons for the formation of NCDI is for unity. And so if Benue leaders are fighting, then how do we achieve that unity? Benue is a part of North Central region, so we are going to intervene.
You started by talking about the fact that one of the reasons why NCDI will never accept an over an answer is because of the fact that the North Central has been known as the place that supplied the country food and all of that, but then Benue was known as food basket of the nation and all of that. And we are from the North Central, and all of this is happening. All right, that's well spoken. Let's look at the membership of NCDI. How is the membership like? Who is qualified to be a member, and how can someone really enroll? Then what is the relationship between NCDI and other development commissions in Nigeria? Because Nigeria is one, as a matter of fact, irrespective of the fact that everybody have different problems, but there is need for unity in diversity. So these are just the two aspects that you will be responding to before we round up.
Thank you. For membership of NCDI, once you are a citizen of any state in the North Central region, or we have our screening committee. Once they screen you and you don't have any bad record, or you have not had any, you don't have any record of causing violence in your area, in your community, or in your local government, so you are qualified to be a member, irrespective of your age or sex. I mean, gender. You are qualified to be a member of NCDI. That is about that. We are not charging money. for membership. Just have the basic qualification, that is, be a citizen of North Central, or you live and do business in North Central region. You can be our member. Then on the issue of relationship with other development commissions, for now I will say no. We have not started. We have not even had our own commission functioning yet. So what are we going to tell those other commissions? The moment the North Central Development Commission commence operation, have an office, board members and management team appointed, and we start our work, we can say, hey, hello, Niger Delta Development Commission, where are you? We want partnership with you. We want to see how you do your own things. Northeast Development Commission.
DG for coming on the program today, and at least you've spoken well for the NCDI and their members. Thank you for coming around.
It's always a pleasure being here. So I want to use this opportunity to call on our leaders in the North Central region, traditional rulers, governors, senators, House of Rep members, wherever you find yourself, let's come together to build North Central. The President has given us the ground, the opportunity, which is the North Central Development Commission. Let's use that avenue to come together. Let's get united. And when you hear about North Central Development Initiative, please embrace us. If we write you later,